Hi, my name is Lance. I'm calling from Arizona. I'm curious about Leviticus 20 and the application of Leviticus 20 in present day as far as punishment for sin. Thank you. Bye.
Sure. Thanks, Lance. Actually, Adriel should handle this. He's just gone through Leviticus and Hebrews. This section includes the death penalty for child sacrifice to Moloch and a section of laws for sexual immorality, including incest and what may be child abuse. So it's very contextual, related to really the pagan peoples who were living in the land that God was going to drive out of the land. So Israel must not imitate the practices of its neighbors. Leviticus 20, verses 10 through 21 tells us, if a man commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress shall be surely put to death. If a man lies with his father's wife, he has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them. If a man lies with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have committed perversion. Their blood is upon them. If a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them. If a man takes a woman and her mother also, it is depravity. He and they shall be burned with fire, and there may be no depravity among you. If a man lies with an animal, he shall surely be put to death, and you shall kill the animal. If a woman approaches any animal and lies with it, you shall kill the woman and the animal. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them. If a man takes his sister, a daughter of his father or a daughter of his mother, and sees her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is a disgrace, and they shall be cut off in the sight of the children of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness, and he shall bear his iniquity. If a man lies with a woman during her menstrual period and uncovers her nakedness, he has made naked her fountain, and she has uncovered the fountain of her blood. Both of them shall be cut off from among the people. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister or of your father's sister, for that is to make naked one's relative. They shall bear their iniquity. If a man lies with his uncle's wife, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin. They shall die childless. If a man takes his brother's wife, it is impurity. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. So here you have a series of commands that underscore the fact that Israel is distinct. Israel is separated from the nations. That's why you also have extensive dietary laws. Nothing is to be mixed or mingled, whether it's food or clothing. Don't have any synthetic clothes. It has to be made of one thing. And it all goes back to creation, that God made distinct species and distinct spheres in the world, and we're not to mix or mingle them. We're not to confuse them. And what you have here in the laws on sexual immorality really are a confusion of the order of nature, whether it's homosexuality or whether it's incest. You're dealing here with the mixing of things that ought to be distinct, the confusion of God's original law for the world. And so it's really rooted in creation. That's how these laws work. They are God's commands for the way that He has ordered the whole cosmos that He's created.
As the passage continues there in Leviticus chapter 20, that really is the emphasis, is don't be like the nations that surround you. I mean, all of these practices, whether it's child sacrifice or sexual immorality, this is what the pagan nations were doing. And so Israel's distinctness is really important because by being distinct, they're demonstrating the glory and the goodness of Yahweh and of His law. And at the end of Leviticus chapter 20, you have that command that's repeated in the New Testament, be holy as I am holy. You see that in 1 Peter chapter 1. You see it in the book of Hebrews. It's called to be holy, to be set apart, because the God that we follow is holy. Now, that doesn't mean that the punishments associated with those laws in the Old Testament are binding today, right? Because
Israel was not only a church, it was a nation.
that's right.
And today, the church is not a nation. It's a spiritual nation spread throughout the world, but it's not a geopolitical entity. So yeah, we can't transfer the laws that God gave uniquely to Israel to any modern nation state.
No.
But what we do have is, actually worse warnings, more severe warnings. Namely, Jesus and his apostles say that those who practice these things, that is, this is their practice, this is who they are, will not inherit the kingdom of God. So to be cut off and even in some cases executed, so that your temporal life is cut off, is one thing. That's a serious capital crime. But to be cut off from the kingdom of heaven, everlasting fellowship with God, is far more serious.
Yeah.